Welcome to This Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today because we are unpacking what's probably the most consequential infrastructure rivalry of our entire lifetime. We're talking about the ultimate battle for who's going to own, shape, and literally control our internet access, the Elon Musk versus Mukesh Ambani war. On one side, you've got an incredibly ambitious spacefaring disruptor, and on the other, an entrenched terrestrial titan with a ground-level empire that's frankly hard to wrap your head around. This is not just some corporate boardroom disagreement. It's a fundamental clash of technological philosophies that'll determine exactly how humanity connects to the digital world. So let's just dive right in. I want you to stop and really think about this for a second. Who actually controls your connection to the world? Every single email you send, every movie you stream, every vital piece of work you upload, it all travels through a specific pipe, right? But who owns that pipe? We honestly rarely stop to think about the personal stakes of this infrastructure. Your daily digital life, your access to information, your modern autonomy. It all depends on this invisible tether. And if just one single entity gets to dictate the terms, the speeds, and the price of that tether, well, they hold an unbelievable amount of power over your day-to-day existence. Section 1. The battle for access. Make no mistake, folks, this is a battle for your screen, your wallet, and your personal data. We're not talking about some abstract tech issue isolated to stock tickers and Wall Street. Whoever ends up controlling the infrastructure, well, they dictate the pricing structures. They gatekeep the data flow. They have the absolute power to throttle your bandwidth. Basically, they have ultimate visibility over where your data goes. Whoever wins this infrastructure race is going to directly impact your everyday life, your data sovereignty, and, yep, your bank account. Section 2. Musk's vision from above. So let's talk about low Earth orbit, or LEO satellites. These bad boys form the complete technological backbone of Musk's disruptor model. You see, instead of laying down more terrestrial fiber optic cables, his strategy completely relies on a space-based network, beaming the internet right down from above. And because these LEO satellites sit so much closer to Earth than your traditional old-school geostationary ones, they have a really unique advantage. Actually, fun fact, light travels significantly faster through the vacuum of space than it does through solid glass fiber optics down here on the ground. That gives these LEO networks an incredible latency advantage, which, is highly lucrative for everything from global competitive gaming to high-frequency stock trading. His whole goal here is a top-down, totally disruptive approach, literally blanketing the globe with high-speed internet and bypassing all those traditional terrestrial choke points completely. Section 3. Ambani's ground-level empire. And now, if Musk is looking down from the stars, Mukesh Ambani is deeply, deeply entrenched in the soil. His strategy relies on this incredibly robust, ground-based cellular and fiber internet infrastructure. This guy is the ultimate terrestrial telecom giant, and let me tell you, he is a ruthless price war veteran. To give you an idea of his playbook, when Ambani's Geo network first entered the Indian market, he basically made data practically free overnight. Seriously, it was this stunningly aggressive move that virtually wiped out the incumbent competitors and captured a massive market share in record time. His whole strategy relies on dominating physical geography. We're talking trenching fiber lines everywhere, erecting countless cell towers, and just capturing the entire market straight from the bottom up. Section 4. The Clash of Titans. All right, so here's where it gets really interesting. We are looking at two entirely incompatible capital expenditure or CapEx models here. Musk's strategy, it's satellite-driven, it's global, it's actively seeking to literally float above regulatory borders to act as the ultimate high-tech disruptor. But Ambani's strategy, he's leveraging deeply trenched fiber and cellular networks, acting as the dominant regional heavyweight who knows exactly how to fight in the trenches, literally in street-level pricing battles. It's a fundamental clash of philosophies, guys. One aims to rewrite the rules of infrastructure from the atmosphere on down, while the other leans on a heavy infrastructure foundation that has already absolutely conquered the physical landscape. And to truly grasp the scale of this fight, you really have to understand the sheer size of the incumbent. Ambani boasts a staggering base of over 400 million active, paying ground-level telecom subscribers. 400 million. That is a gargantuan defensive moat. He isn't starting from scratch here. That massive subscriber base represents incredible, steady cash flow, deep market penetration, and entrenched consumer habits that drive a really formidable average revenue per user. Let me be clear, it is incredibly difficult for any newcomer, no matter how technologically advanced they are, to break through that immense weight of terrestrial dominance. But matching that massive ground presence is Musk's rapidly expanding mechanical constellation of thousands of LEO satellites. Sure, Musk might not have hundreds of millions of subscribers in these terrestrial markets quite yet, but the sheer cadence of SpaceX launches is just staggering. I mean, launching multiple rockets a month to deploy active satellites directly into orbit, that is a completely unprecedented infrastructural flex. He's literally building a global network in real time, matching the sheer weight of Ambani's localized subscriber base with the technological audacity of mass space deployment. So when we break down these competing offerings, it really reveals a fascinating set of trade-offs regarding space versus ground, speed, and cost. Looking at it impartially, ground-based fiber provides incredibly high speeds and super stable capacity at a very low cost to the consumer, assuming you're in a dense urban area. But the second you try laying fiber to a remote mountain or a rural village, it becomes insanely expensive. And that is exactly where the space model shines. It offers truly global reach to places where fiber simply cannot economically go. Ultimately, we're looking at a battle between localized, hyper-affordable density on one hand and globally accessible premium reach on the other. So where are these business models actually colliding in the real world right now? Well, the primary battlegrounds are regulatory hurdles, market share grabs, and intense pricing wars. One of the absolute biggest regulatory flashpoints right now is spectrum allocation. Both of these billionaires are aggressively lobbying governments over the precise radio frequencies they need to transmit their data. Meanwhile, you've got Musk aiming to peel away the premium users and rural populations, right? While Ambani's working overtime to lock those exact same people in with bundled, hyper-affordable services. The million-dollar question, or really the billion-dollar question is, can a space-based network with its massive launch and hardware costs actually survive a ruthless ground-level price war? Well, that's exactly how this unprecedented clash is unfolding before our eyes. Section 5. Who wins your internet? So what's the fallout here? Well, this rivalry has direct impacts on your wallet, your connectivity, and your data. The outcome of these massive infrastructure battles is literally going to dictate the future paradigm of consumer internet access. If the top-down satellite model wins out, we might see a much more decentralized, globally uniform internet, though potentially at a higher premium price point. But if the bottom-up ground model holds its dominance, we're probably looking at hyper-affordable, bundled internet, tied really closely to dominant regional players. But here's the thing. In either scenario, these titans are actively deciding the structural foundation of your daily life. They are figuring out how fast you connect, how much you pay, and exactly how your data is routed, whether that's through the physical ground or up in the atmosphere. Which brings us to the ultimate question. What is the future of digital monopolies and your very own digital autonomy? As we sit back and watch Musk and Ambani fight tooth and nail for the infrastructure of tomorrow, we really have to ask ourselves, how much true independence do we retain when our entire digital existence relies on the hardware of just a select few? Are we actually heading towards a world of boundless competitive connectivity? Or are we simply trading one geographic monopoly for an atmospheric one? Look up and look down, folks, because the battle for your digital autonomy is really just getting started. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.